Hi everyone, it's Simon Keeling here at weatherweb.net and it's Friday the 21st of March. Thanks again for watching. It's a Friday. That means that it's our regular look ahead at long-range charts, which I'll show you in just a moment. But interesting things going on today weather-wise. This is the radar picture from earlier on today, so into late morning, into the early part of the afternoon. And you can see here the showers moving in from the west during the course of this afternoon. It's this area of showers we're particularly interested in out here across the western parts of Ireland. Those associated with this feature that you can see here marked on the frontal chart that's moving its way eastwards. Now that's all associated with an area of colder air at upper levels. This is the 500 millibar chart valid for 6 o'clock this morning, and if we just follow the chart through, look in 6-hour steps, watch that purple area out towards the west and watch what happens with it. Look, this is 6 o'clock this evening. There's midnight tonight, and there's 6 o'clock on Saturday morning. So this area of cold air moves in with that feature that we've just seen. It's a trough that's moving in through here. It comes eastwards, it brings an area of more persistent showers or rain, snow across the hills of the Pennines and Scotland. Snows across the hill of the Pennines? I mean snow across the Pennines and across the hills of Scotland. Blizzard-like conditions up there actually for a time during the course of tonight. And then what it does is it eventually clears out towards the east look during the course of Saturday, as another area of cooler air here just passes off towards the southwest, intensifying showers during Saturday afternoon over the southwest of England. So we get this sharp, what we call lapse rate between the surface and upper levels. That means that convective cumulus clouds can get going, and it's that makes the showers all clump together and brings us the more persistent showers and rain that we're going to be seeing overnight tonight. That's how Saturday looks, and there those troughs look. You can see them there moving their way eastwards. Basically the troughs highlighting areas of increased showers. So showery, cool day for Saturday. Better on Sunday as the ridge of high pressure out towards the west here gradually builds its way eastwards, and then into Monday, more persistent rain coming into western parts of the country during the course of Monday, but this tending to slip away down towards the southeast in the afternoon, although spill eastwards overnight, but becoming a much lighter feature. I think by Tuesday, better bank on quite a cloudy, damp day off towards the east, more western areas, probably becoming a little bit brighter. Wednesday, although not marked on here, I think we are going to find an area of cloud affecting central and eastern areas, with a ridge of high pressure moving in during the course of Wednesday. And then the back end of next week really looks as if it goes back into more mixed conditions. And although I don't think the models have particularly got a very good handle on this at the moment. Now, I'm going to show the CFS and I'm going to show you the JMA as well. The latest JMA is out, so should we do that one first? Yeah, let's do that one first of all. This is the JMA forecast for week 1. So this is going forwards to next Friday. So it takes us up to the 28th. It actually ends at the end of the 27th. So I'm going to put this in as up to the 27th. Now, you've got to turn your head around because the UK is under here and there's Spain, look through there. There's the UK. And what this chart is showing us for this period, look, is the trough down through the UK, down through western parts of Europe too. Quite a marked trough on there, indicating unsettled conditions. Higher than normal heights out towards the west and the Atlantic there. That's where we're getting that ridge building in. So the ridge kind of retreats off towards the Atlantic, but it puts us in more mixed conditions because of the trough extending down through the country. It does that for the next week. Now, into week 2, this is taking us from the 28th through till the early part of April. So this will take us up to the 3rd of April. And what this shows, again, look, you see these deep trough here through Europe. It again wants to keep us in cooler, more unsettled conditions, taking us through the end of March and into the early part of April. That's quite a notable trough on there. So trying to keep conditions unsettled, probably not overly wet. It's not a jet stream screaming across the Atlantic, pounding us like it was during the winter months. It's a trough, which means that generally it's more showery in nature. It's unsettled. We get heavy showers and we get cooler than normal conditions. Not desperately cold, not how it was last year, but cool. Not particularly like the very warm spring conditions we've had. Actually, you're probably better off describing this as spring-like, because this is going to be April showers. Wouldn't rule out wintry showers, particularly across northern hills and also across across parts of Wales as well. And then into week 3 and 4. So this is taking us from around the 4th of April. And remember, this is for 2 weeks. So this takes us from the 4th of April up to the 18th of April. And what this chart is hinting at, look, is the remnants of the trough. Now, you've got to bear in mind, this is a 2-week period that this is valid for. So there's the remnants of the trough, look, those blue colours showing us the trough. But even by then, it's hinted at it moving more towards the west. You see these yellower colours coming in from the east. This is a weak ridge coming in off the Atlantic. So I think what this is hinting at is that during the early part of this period, so probably from around the 4th, probably getting up to the but let's go to around the 9th. So up to around the 9th period is probably unsettled again, and still mixed, still showers, still relatively cool. But probably from the 10th onwards, what this is trying to indicate is an improvement taking place. So with the build of the ridge out towards the west, yes, it may still go into a west and northwesterly, so it's not overly warm, but turning dry. That's what it's trying to say for the middle part of April after a cool and unsettled start. So how does that compare to the CFS? Well, again, twist your heads round. The UK is upside down because this chart is focused on the Pacific, so we've got to turn our heads upside down, look, and try and find the UK. There it is. Now, this is week 1, taking us from yesterday through to the 26th of March, and there's the trough, look, down through the UK, and actually it's got it there extending through Europe as well, indicating that that's where the trough is likely to be. Now, over into week 2, 27th of March through to the 2nd of April, and what it does here, look, this trough still extending down, but it's got it a little bit further westwards. It's got it in the Atlantic. It's got a ridge out towards the east here, and what this does is it actually brings in more of a southerly flow through the UK, so it tries to make things a little bit milder, particularly across eastern parts of the UK, keeps them dry. But I think we've got to be very careful about trying to pick out too close a geographical region on this. I think probably what we've got to say is that trough is there. It's exactly where it's going to be that's causing us the difficulties, but probably best to say at the moment the trough is still there. Now, into week 3, similar scenario. Look, the CFS wants to keep the trough in place here. So what it would do here is bring in cold northwesterly winds down through western parts of the country, warmer southerly winds up through eastern parts of the country, but it would be very mixed and very unsettled given that pattern, and staying cool as well. And then into week 4, well, it still wants to keep this idea of the trough in there, but look, what it's trying to do is to build the ridge here, the higher the normal heights from the ridge that's off towards the west of Portugal. It tries to build those in. So again, what it's trying to do is to say, look, it's going to be an unsettled start to April. It's going to be cool, but it sees signs of this improvement taking place towards the middle part of the month. So we do have some consensus there from the chart, from the longer range models, that actually we probably see improvements in the beginning of the month. Now, I've got to say, my confidence at the moment is low on these long ranges. They have been swapping and they have been changing around with each of the various runs. So we just don't have any consistency in there just at the moment. But this idea is building of an unsettled until March and an unsettled first half of April, but then a better, potentially, second half of the month. If I've got to give you my personal opinion on it, without the models being in place there, I must admit it kind of goes counterintuitive to what I was thinking, which was that I was planning that the beginning of April would be good, but then the last, the middle and the end third of April would be more unsettled and cooler. That was how I thought it could go, but that's not what's being shown at the moment on the longer range models, and I'm going to defer to them for the time being. But that's the story that we're going to follow at the moment. I certainly wouldn't be betting my house on it, but that's the story that we're going to follow at the moment. This idea that April goes cool, starts off unsettled, but then improves for the middle and latter stages of the month. So, of course, we'll keep you updated right the way throughout here at weatherweb.net. But thanks again for watching. Remember that we've got those heavy showers, the risk of some snow coming through during the course of tonight. Please do tell your friends about us. You can follow us on Twitter at Weather School or at WXWeb, and you can follow us on Facebook as well by doing a search for Weather School. Remember, we're kept free of charge because you keep on coming back and using the site. It means we can put more adverts in front of you. It's those that generate the funds that keep us free of charge. So thank you for doing that. But for now, thanks again for watching. Whatever you're doing, have a great day and keep the sun shining. Bye for now.